Welcome to racefortheprize.com. It is Friday, December 16th, 2022. Let's look at the free NBA DFS spreadsheet. Just simply showing the sheet, not really giving you all the greatest picks in the world. Actually, if you want all the greatest picks in the world, you can go to my free article. Do I have a link on here? I should have a link. DK Nation Fantasy NASCAR. That'll get you close enough to take you to my profile. And hey, guess what? Saturday and Sunday, I always write the picks article. It's free, but they're not whatever. It's free. Check it out. Enjoy it. And I'm doing Friday, and this Friday, I went crazy. I went insane. 18 picks. There they all are. Check them out. Have fun with that. That's what I do. I read books. I drink tea, and I know things. That's the ads that I get. But think about my web surfing habits. That's the ads that I get. Who knows? Anyway, so here it is. There's the projection. There's the checkbox picks. There's your IR report. The sheet's getting hit hard. And so I'm making a lot of updates, trying to speed it up to make sure that you can still use it. Bear with me. Early days of, I should have anticipated this. This always happens. Thankful that you guys are checking out the spreadsheet. Thankful that you're sharing it and liking it. But it's kind of scrambling to make sure the sheet is working for you. It is free after all. Now, if I was making you pay 20, 30, 50 bucks a month, which I'm not going to do, then yeah, I would be in an absolute panic, cold sweat, but I'm not because it's free. If it doesn't work on a given night, sorry. My advice always is check the sheet out early throughout the day. There could be a flood of traffic from 6 to 7 o'clock before lock, and that could just absolutely kill the sheet. Nothing I can do about that, and nothing that I'm going to really stress out about because it's free. Anyway, let's look at our projections. There they are again. Teams, matchups, salaries, money line, total points. Your matchups. Some stats to hang your hat on if you want. Point per minute, probably a bigger thing. If you want to try to find a trend, like here you go. Anthony Davis, as you know, has really just basically brought the Lakers off of life support with his performances. And you can see on the year, 1.4 FPPM, but over the last 10, 1.8. So he might be slightly undervalued, but his salary's come up, right? He's up to, but he's getting a pretty soft defensive matchup. I know Jokic is a good center, but still Denver as a whole is not a great defensive team. He's there. Do whatever you want with that. There are the 4 conservative projection models. Then we average them out. Here's your change in minutes. Is anyone really showing a significant change? We've got Jordan Poole with 6.6. I didn't think he could play any more minutes than he already has, but this is technically saying, all right, well, how many minutes has he played on the season? What are we looking at that? Actually, that does make sense because we know Steph Curry is out. We know Andrew Wiggins is out. And at the moment, one of my guys I like tonight, Klay Thompson, is questionable. Now, if Thompson is out as well, then yeah, 35 minutes seems absolutely what Jordan Poole will play. Has Jordan Poole been the better player? I wrote about this. Yeah, he has, but it's not really a fair comparison. Jordan Poole, is he better than Klay Thompson this season? Yes, but that's because they're asking Jordan Poole to basically play all season. Whereas Klay Thompson, they're resting him, they're giving him nights off. When the playoffs come around, you're going to see that probably Klay Thompson's a better player than Jordan Poole, but Kerr's sitting everybody. He's resting everybody. Regular season doesn't matter. You saw them kill themselves during the regular season last year. It really didn't help them out. If you remember, last November, December, January, the Warriors were on fire. And then it kind of caught up with them, and they had that period there right around the All-Star break where they kind of struggled, and people were scratching their head thinking, oh, this is going to be. But then when the playoffs came, they blew through the playoffs. And so now Kerr's like, who cares about the regular season? And you're seeing that. So, yeah, Jordan Poole. But again, and that's why Jordan Poole is much more expensive than Klay Thomas on a nightly basis because he's just carrying more of the workload during the regular season. Is he a better player? No, on any given night, Klay Thompson could be asked to do more. But tonight, probably not because he may be questionable. He rested, but maybe they're going to rest him more. I don't know. We'll wait and see. You're going to have to wait for news on that because if it is just Jordan Poole out there, then you're probably going to want to play him. Minutes increase. He's getting the minutes usage rate. And I don't really like the matchup, though. But you'll get that news early because that's an East Coast game. Who else we got? Minutes increase, big decrease for Gobert, but that's because he's questionable. We don't know if he's going to play. If Gobert sits, then Naz Reid is going to pop off. I don't even know if we really need to go there. How many times have you been fooled by Naz Reid? And he's hit a couple times. Gordon Hayward, not expected to play, I'm assuming there. Kyle Anderson getting big minutes. I guess we're expecting. I guess, again, that's mainly based on the season average. And he didn't play very much early on, but he's been up there in minutes lately. And he is always out there right now. His price has come up a lot. Dante DiVincenzo is in my article, and he's been playing a lot because, as I mentioned earlier, they're always sitting Curry. They're always sit. There's a rotation of guys that sit, and so DiVincenzo is former Bucks star, getting plenty. No, he never really became a star, but supposed to be. We'll see what he does now with the Warriors. Good fit for them. He's going to get a lot of minutes. He's going to get a lot of minutes now with Curry. Wiggins is still out. If Clay's out, then yeah, big minutes increase. And I liked him before as a good. He's got a solid, stable floor. Could get enough of an increase. I think you definitely are going to want to consider going there. The pace is not great. The defense is not great, but the Warriors already play a fast pace and kind of carry all of it along with them. Got Bol. I almost wrote him up today just because, but it's also a matchup that I don't really like, if I remember correctly. Yeah, against the Boston. I don't really like that. He's playing great. It's fun to watch, and he's getting plenty of time because the Magic are shorthanded every single night, but I don't know if I want to go there tonight. Griffin getting a big increase here in Atlanta. That's because, as I wrote up, the guy that I think you want to go, not who I think you want to go to, DeAndre Hunter is going to be the place that you're absolutely going to want to go. And then also, and we'll go over here in the picks in a second, but you've got Collins is still out. DeJounte Murray is going to be out for a while, and Clint Capella is out. So there are going to be minutes in that front court, and we can go over and see the picks that, and he's already in the projected. If I look at, I ran the optimizer. Where is it? Okongwu. Nyeke Okongwu is going to get plenty of minutes. If I mess up one of these names, if I don't absolutely say something that's absolutely correct, that's why I created the sheet, to get out of my own way. And I don't mind, you leave the comments, things that I mess up or a mistake that I make, please. But that's why the sheet exists. Because sometimes I think I know too much. Sometimes I pretend to know too much. Sometimes I actually do know, and you lead yourself down the wrong path because you think you know too much. That's why the sheet exists, for me to get out of my own way so that I can stop pretending or being so confident. When a lot of times I know what I'm talking about, but it doesn't always work out that way. It's better than, because as a human, a lot of times, because of the availability heuristic. That's right, the availability heuristic. Google that one up, Steven Pinker. You can read about that in Enlightenment Now. Anyway, because of what's happening in media and in our attention span and the games that we've watched recently, we overreact to the now, the here, the moment. And it's often better to say, well, let's look at the big picture, the larger grand scheme of things, a larger sample size. That's what the spreadsheet does. You do it in DFS, like, oh, this guy's out, I'm jamming him in. And that's kind of what we're going to do with Okongwu. Whereas the sheet's like, okay, I get it. And there's a trend going in the right direction, and we see where the numbers are going. And the cheat sheet says, okay, there's enough because we've got 3 games going in the right direction with Okongwu. You can look that up. He's playing well with those guys out. But it's going to be much more, I guess, reserved, or look at much bigger of a data sample to do the checkbox picks, to do the projections. Whereas, I think, like, for example, the Thunder with JRE is out. And so it's like, all right, am I going to do a Darius Baisley? Am I going to slam in Jalen Williams for the Thunder? That would be availability heuristic. That's the immediate, the now, the reacting to what just happened, what you see recently. Like, oh, well, he's out. He's going to get a bunch of minutes. Yeah, but over the grand scheme of things, does it make sense to play Thunder? Does it make sense to play Thunder? Take it from me, probably not. And take it from the spreadsheet. Over the grand scheme of things, if you're playing a lot of Thunder every single night, may not be working out well for you. There's a reason why they're priced low, because they don't score a lot of fantasy points. Now, on any given night, they can hit, but if they're hitting more often than not, then their price is going to be up. That's just the way that it works. One thing I will say about the Oklahoma City Thunder, the OKC Thunder, OKC ATS beast last season. I haven't followed the trends this year, but I imagine it's probably pretty good. They were constantly underpriced. And if you bet them and the Grizzlies last season just every night, you made a lot of money. All right. So there's the projections. We were looking at minute increases. I don't need to go anymore. Let's see, there's Quentin Grimes is actually popping up. I got to look at the IR report. Maybe we got some Knicks that are going to be out. And this is another thing you can do. Look and see. We already knew Topper was going to be out. There's nothing really showing me here on the Knicks that is making me think something strange is happening. Sacramento, Herter could be out, and that's going to bump up maybe Fox, get a little bit more action, which I like Fox a lot in a really good matchup against Detroit. but it could also open Malik Monk. It could open up Keegan Murray. Those are value plays that you may not even need to go there. Same guys are out for Toronto's recently. I'm not messing with Portland. It's the same crew. As I mentioned, OKC's are Jerry, Kendrick Williams. Open up some minutes in the front court. Baisley, again, the availability heuristic, had a big games last game. Gobert. Let's see what's the latest news on Gobert. Questionable play Friday's matchup due to left ankle sprain. Nothing new just yet on that. Wiggins, we don't have. It looks like Clay is not updated in the sheet yet, so we gotta wait. Sheet updates throughout the day. We don't have that news. We still got Wiggins out. And is it officially out with Wiggins? Is he still day to day? Yeah, he's officially out. Draymond Green is questionable now, but I think he's always going to be day to day in the sheets. Not that I don't know if his usage takes away a lot. That could be an ugly one if Golden State does the typical. Let's just run a bunch of backups. We've seen it happen. Opens up some value. Anyone else injury report wise? Al's supposed to be back. He is questionable. I wouldn't go there. There's the big one, right? Capella, Collins, and Murray. I don't really like that Brooklyn situation. You get Gordon Hayward out. I don't know. I think that's bumping Terry Rozier up, and Rozier is popping in the projections. That's something to keep my eye on. I'm not really crazy about Charlotte, but there could be a lot of points in that Charlotte game on both sides. Okay, let's look at what checkbox picks are at the moment. Doncic is always going to hit, and he's going to hit tonight because he's got a soft matchup. Now, his price, as we've talked about before, it's just really tough. Cash games, maybe if you can get to him, it's fine, but is he going to be the most efficient? He really has to go off. He's got the holy trinity, the minutes, the usage, and the fantasy points per minute, and he gets a soft matchup, so he could work tonight. Jokic, the minutes haven't really been there, unfortunately, but I think that'll be fine in this game. I would expect him to have minutes. And we got a paste-up game. He's fine as well. You want to go, as I wrote in my DK Nation article, you've got the West Coast version and the East Coast version. Basically, Embiid, you got similar salaries, similar FPPMs, and they're both in paste-up games. Either you want to take the Lakers, you want to take Golden State. The problem you're in here is if the Golden State plays all the bums, then you probably are not going to get a full allotment of minutes from Embiid, and Jokic becomes the guy. And even then, I don't even know if you really need to spend all this money on these two guys. If we have a really close game, I could see this Jokic thing working out a lot better. The game environment being one where Nikola Jokic is going to be much more active than really Joel Embiid, really not needing to play. Even if Golden State doesn't sit everybody, they still are running at half speed. And what is even the over-under on that? I would say they're probably favored like 6-7 points, maybe off the board at the moment, but we'll have a delayed, let's see, minus 350 money line. You're going to get 30 minutes out of Joel Embiid. I don't think so. But Jokic at minus 122 on the road, you're going to get 30 minutes from him. If they're favorite to win on the road, he's playing the full minutes. This at home, he ain't playing. Look at this, Jason 950. I just don't think that you're just going to get all the Boston players probably in this beatdown of Orlando. All right, going back to the checkbox picks. Let's see, I mean, it all makes sense. Nothing really crazy. You get your game times and injury status. I don't know if that's updated. I think I might need to fix that so that is showing. Note to self. Unless no one is questionable, because I know one of these guys is questionable. I just got to fix that. Make a note here that I've got to fix that. Life of running a spreadsheet. You guys know how it is. Let's see. Picks page. And that's my hospital column. Okay. I'm kind of interested in Sabonis. I really like attacking the Sacramento-Detroit game. High-paced. Bad defense here. I'm probably going to go with Fox. I don't mind Sabonis. Kind of like him as a cheaper version of some of these super expensive guys. I think it's going to be a close game. So I think Detroit will probably keep it close. You also get some value out of Detroit as well. I just don't know how much I really want from Sacramento and Detroit. But Sacramento, really underrated offense. Top 10 offensive efficiency rating. So we shouldn't hesitate that much. You just probably should watch out with Detroit. And the thing to watch with Detroit that is appealing is right it's not even showing up right now, is that Marvin Bagley III was questionable. I don't know if this is not updated yet, but he went out on Wednesday. Maybe he's not questionable. Maybe he will play. If he doesn't play, then, and I think he's still probably play Jalen Duran anyway in this matchup. But that's one of the places that I want to look for value on the Detroit side. And again, the sheet's telling me where to go. It's guiding me. So, oh, this guy's acting like I'm not acting like I know anything. I'm just listening to the sheet and then digging in through the sheet. The sheet's saying, look at these guys. I'm going to do the research on these guys. The sheet's saying, pay attention to these guys. All right, then go to Popcorn Machine and see what the rotations are. Like, for example, I think one of the cool Popcorn Machine checks that you probably do, and what I did, was looking at Golden State to find out, all right, well, what happened when Steph went down. Now, actually, he's not even popping up on my sheet because he's not checking enough boxes, but I can. All right, cool. I didn't think it was going to pull up, but Moses Moody, not Moses Moody, wrong Moody. Oh, yeah, that is Moses Moody. That's what I want. Moses Moody came, he doesn't play for Philadelphia. Yeah, because he's playing against Philadelphia, you idiot. Moses Moody is the guy that came in and played a lot of the minutes in the backcourt when Steph Curry went out during their loss to the Pacers. I believe they lost that game. So you can look at Popcorn Machine to see the game flows and see the rotations. And the sheet will guide you to those guys. Now, I don't think it guided you to Moses Moody because he doesn't check enough boxes because they don't see the minutes coming. And what is he projected wise? Let's see what is our projected minutes for it. Obviously, his point per minute is not very good. We got him at 13, so we don't see him really doing anything. So the sheets tell me no. So this is one of the examples where maybe I'm getting in the way and saying I'm trying to read too much into it, reading the wrong tea leaves and pretending I know something. Oh, well, I looked at the Popcorn Machine. I saw that he came in the fourth quarter, and he played pretty well, so he could probably get a little bit more run. Maybe. Steve Kerr, we don't know who he's going to run out there. And the sheet says, yeah, we've looked at all the data, and we don't think it's going to be Moses Moody. So maybe I just need to not think that I know what I'm doing with that one. So there's the picks, projections. So I ran the optimizer, which you can too if you get Open Solver. And so last check here at a little afternoon, we went with the Bogdanovich powerhouse. Again, I like the Detroit-Sacramento game. And I believe Atlanta against Charlotte is another game I like. Gonku is going to get you that cheap value. We'll see what Trae Young does. They're missing key players. There's going to be opportunities in Atlanta. And a lot of people say, hey, well, Bogdanovich's price has gotten up there too much now. I still think you probably can get something out of him. Dosunmu, whether he plays or not, he did not play on Wednesday. And so you saw Alex Caruso get more minutes. It was okay. Kobe White was a little bit better. If all three play, it probably doesn't work, even though they've all been okay. I mean, this is ceiling projection. And if all three play, I really don't believe Dosunmu, White, or Caruso will get to their ceiling. If one sits, mainly Dosunmu, because I think Caruso's playing, Kobe White's playing for sure. If one sits, then they're all pretty much the same price. Russell Westbrook, wow, yeah, there he is. SGA, it is a paced-up game against Minnesota. Kevin Love, I don't know why all of a sudden it loves Love. But who doesn't love Love? Okay, that's a terrible moment. Randall, 15 points in the first quarter. What could have been? I think made like a free throw in the second quarter. It happens. Teams go on runs. Players go on runs. Guys disappear during an NBA game. Just the way that works. But Randall is at a price where he really can still work, especially in this matchup. And then if we go to the picks pool, this isn't more narrow a pool. This one is saying, let's run optimization based on the checkbox picks. And so we get Rozier. Hauser is coming in. Like I mentioned earlier, Boston is a massive favorite, which means we're probably going to get a lot of Boston guys coming in a pretty favorable matchup. Now, Hauser's going to have to come in and hit threes. LaMelo Ball, not really on my radar in that Charlotte-Atlanta matchup, but she says, look, it can work if he gets the minutes. You're going to want, so the sheet is alerting you to him, and what you'd want to do is like, all right, well, go to Popcorn Machine or go to the game log and see, well, how many minutes has he played recently? If this game is competitive, which it should be because Atlanta's not playing that well, how much will LaMelo Ball? If you get 30, 35 minutes of LaMelo, then yeah, it's probably a place that you can go to. There's Westbrook coming again, Jamal Murray, paced up game against the Lakers. loves and loves Randall, and Okongwu is probably going to be the play of the night. Everybody's going to be all over him. But there's plenty of center value. Check out my DK Nation article. All right, again, racefortheprize.com. That's where you can check out this free sheet and run the optimization. I mess around with it throughout the day. Sometimes it crashes because there's a lot of traffic. Sometimes it crashes because it's pulling data from all across the universe. Bear with me. It's free. You're welcome.